main video here. Now, this video right here, I've started to watch some of it, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to focus all my content on just like these two arguing here, but I think they had really like a lot of similar conversations that I have with a lot of just random people, you know, at work that I know. And I mean, just these conversations, man, like it really is kind of mind blowing on how it's hard to tell if someone's being disingenuous on purpose, if they're just unaware of just life in general. So let's go ahead and watch this here.
And let me ask you this question. When Republicans have been in charge of the House, the Senate, the White House, or the governor's mansion, or state rep and state senators, or the legislature, because 31 states right now, they control both chambers, a significant number of them in the South, where the majority of black people are. Please show me empirical data how the lives of black people have fundamentally changed under Republican rule. I'll wait.
Do you know who started getting more votes from the black community? Do you know who? Your favorite guy. Do you know who? Who? Your best friend.
No, go ahead and say it.
Donald Trump.
Got it.
Yeah. Do you know who started?
No. Hold on.
Oh, you don't like that?
No. First of all, I discussed it on my show. Nice try. But I want you to answer my question.
What does that have to do with on your show?
I want you to answer my question.
People don't want your show. Say it here.
I want you to answer my question.
Yeah.
I want you to answer my question.
Sure.
Republicans control all three branches in South Carolina.
Yeah.
They control Georgia. They control Mississippi. They control Arkansas. They control Tennessee. So they control the legislature in North Carolina. So since you make, I'm going to use your argument. Please show me how the lives of African Americans are drastically improved in those places where Republicans completely control than other places. Show me. Give me an example.
Roland, if you would have answered any of my questions.
Oh my God.
See, now this was one of the most frustrating things throughout their whole entire 2-hour interview. It seemed like I understand when you're trying to debate someone, you don't want to concede on a point. You don't want to answer because it might seem like you're giving a little leverage or whatever the power struggle is when you're having a debate. That's one reason why I don't like having debates, because your only objective, it seems like, is to prove the other person wrong. You don't want to have a good faith conversation. You don't want to concede on anything. Your only goal is to prove them wrong and prove that you're right, or convince them that they're wrong and you're right. And it's like they've been going back and forth. None of them want to answer the question. And I'm pretty sure you already know what my answer is going to be. But let's just see how they just keep going back and forth. And the answer is obvious. The answer is so ridiculously simple. It just confuses me on who's being disingenuous here. Is it this guy right here? Is it even Roland? You know what I'm saying? Like, can someone just be honest and just give the obvious answer?
Answered any of my questions
I
in the
answered your
last
question,
hour and a
but
half.
you don't like the answer.
No, it's not. I don't like the answer.
You don't like the answer.
You say, tell me the policies. I'm asking you the policies.
Oh, so you don't.
I'm asking.
So I can't ask you a question. You can't give an answer.
You can, but I would like. I brought you here. Invite me on your show, and I'll give you the answer.
No,
because I'm the guest.
Wait.
I brought you on the show.
Well, first of all, even on my show, if somebody asks me a question, hell, I answer the question. I've answered your questions. You still can't answer it. And the reason why you can't answer,
we've been an hour and 20 minutes now. You still haven't answered the question.
Actually, I have.
You have not.
Actually, I have.
What policy?
Here's why you haven't answered.
You blame the state.
No.
You blame surrounding cities. You blame Republicans. That's what you blame.
No.
For 50, and I tell you, for 59 years.
And first of all, systemic racism is a policy because it's actually ingrained in our system. That's first. True. What I'm also saying to you is, what I recognize is, how do we fix these, again, institutional long-range issues?
How do we fix them?
First and foremost, we got to stop denying that it's a problem, which you have done.
Oh, no.
That's first.
That's, if I've said this in a previous video, nothing is, especially when it comes to reparations and just a lot of, it seems simple type solutions like gun control. If there is half the country, or probably even more than half, who doesn't believe that guns are an issue, you're never really going to get gun reform. It's never going to be that. You know what I'm saying? So Roland is correct. If people can't even understand that with slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, just a lot of other black codes, just a lot of it seems like small things to us now, because it's almost hard to believe they would do things like this. Segregation, those type of things have an effect. And if they're not taken care of, they're going to easily be implemented in a lot of things that we are not aware of. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's called systemic racism. It's in the system. It's systematically working, even sometimes without us even knowing, until we one day critically think about these things. And that's why I like critical race theory, because you have to critically think about these subjects. And that's a whole nother conversation. But to even acknowledge that simple point can go a long way, because then now we can work towards singling out examples, which Mr. Roland's about to give, and then we can come up with solutions. But if we can't pass step one, then nothing else matters. Nothing else really matters. And it feels like that's where America is stuck today. We can't even agree on America's history. We have Republicans versions, then we have, well, this is kind of how it's separated. We have Republicans history and we have Democrats history. You know what I'm saying? And it's like no one can't agree on what's what. So if we can't agree to that, then like, what the hell with everything?
I just showed you it is a problem. 27 out of 30. It is a problem.
We've got to stop.
It's a big problem.
Stop denying the
59 years Democrats have had the vote.
You sat here and denied the systemic reality of racism in the housing appraisal industry by going, I need to see the 47 million. You just denied it. And I'm
1,000,000% I need to see the data.
And I
1,000,000% I need to see the data.
Here's the deal.
And by the way, you're giving a little too much credibility to New York Times.
Here's the deal. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull up what? First of all, you gave it the Heritage Report. You read a New York Times report citing the Heritage Foundation. Dude, really?
Wait, you're telling me New York Times got a lot of credibility. That's what you're saying.
I just told you.
I hate it so much.
Reference the Heritage Foundation. Dude, come on.
That's the Daily Signal. That's the Daily Signal.
And who owns them?
I don't even know who owns Daily Signal.
Heritage Foundation.
Okay, great.
I've done their show, so that's an in-house organization. Here's what I'm telling you.
Okay, so this whole, and I have this argument with a lot of people in my comment section on YouTube. One, data, statistics, articles, opinion articles, all this stuff, it does play a role. I would never say statistics and data is not important. I would never say that. But if that's the only thing you're clinging on to is, well, data from, such and such says this, is like, okay, can we dig a little deeper in that? If that's the only thing you're clinging on to, you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you don't care about no data, which I've ran into people who said they don't care about, you're an idiot. One, that's number one. Two, we need to look into who's creating this type of information. Because obviously, if they're Republican and they have a distinctive agenda to demonize, dehumanize a certain group of people, then of course they're going to kind of skew, kind of finesse, finagle, I don't know if that's a word, but finagle some numbers to better fulfill their agenda, to better prompt their talking points. Democrats the same. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have to make sure the information that we're gathering is credible, figure out who these organizations are, and then go from there. But if all you're bringing is, data and statistics from one side of an argument, and that's the only thing you're clinging on to, you're the I word, okay? I'm not going to use that idiot word a lot, but you're the I word, okay?
By the way, go to another site to give 27 out of 30.
Here's the deal. I'm going back, which you still won't even answer. And this is what I'm telling you. You can't even show me, and I'm going to use Mississippi, since Mississippi has the highest concentration
I think they're
of
going to
black
get to
people
the answer
of
soon.
any state in America, where Republicans have ruled that state. Since the Mississippi Constitutional Convention in 1891, not a single African American has been elected statewide in Mississippi. So, if Republicans control the governor's mansion, the legislature in Mississippi, how then, since you talk about the policies, how is it the lives of African Americans have not improved in Mississippi? If you say,
come on, please give
the
me
Democrats,
an answer.
it's their policies.
Come on,
show
give me an answer,
tell
baby.
me how it hasn't improved in Mississippi.
Roland, until you give me your answer on the
damn.
questions I've asked.
Damn. It felt like he contemplated on an answer and then say, you know what? No. I can't give in. I have talking points I have to stand by. And it destroys the whole conversation. I hate talking to people who only want to argue one point. They don't want to have a conversation. They don't want to have, like just common to common conversation. I don't know what else to call it, but I hate arguing with people like that. Oh man, it drives me crazy.
I gave you the answer.
You're going to go
You
to
don't
one
like the
specific
answer.
example. And this is what I will tell
Mississippi,
you. Here's
Florida,
what I will tell you.
Arkansas, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. I've given you multiple states.
You still haven't answered the question.
I answered your question.
No, you have not.
No, you don't like the answer.
No, you have not answered the question.
I have.
You blamed and deflected.
You don't like the answer.
What is the answer?
You don't like the answer.
What's the answer?
I gave you multiple
Your answer is, tell me about Memphis. It's deflect.
I promise you they're going to get to an answer. And now that I think of it, they kind of breeze over it. Like they spend 5 minutes, maybe another 2-3 minutes on arguing. The other person's not giving an answer. And when they finally come with a solid answer, they gloss over it and then continue the conversation. It drives me nuts.
That's a deflection.
No, the first part, I never even brought up Memphis.
Who did you just, not Memphis, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
You deflect.
No, I'm giving you an example.
Of what?
No, because since you
haven't explained 27 out of 30.
Let me say it again.
You haven't explained.
Let me say it again.
59 years you've had the vote.
You say, and I'm telling you.
What have you done about it?
Since you said, oh my God, you Democratic votes, show me in Republican red as states how they have improved the lives of African Americans.
Come on.
Show me.
Roland, I don't think you understand what I'm saying to you right now.
I understand what you're saying.
Let me ask you.
Now, Mr. Ty the Detailer, you could be correct. Like a Cornel West, because Cornel West, at least in my opinion, is probably one of the best conversationalists. If that's a word, I just made it up, okay? Because he knows how to connect with the person he's talking to. Hey, my dear brother, my dear sister. One, he brings you in as hey, we're one of the same, okay? And he will concede to a lot of simple, common points. He'll be like, I'm pretty sure Dr. West would be like, yeah, and these Democrats have been failing 27 out of these 37 states or whatever his stats was. I think he would have conceded on that, but then continue with his analysis and going deeper than just the stats and statistics. So that's one thing that I love about that, is like he knows how to kind of carry you with him. Just take you in his arms and say, hey, it's okay. We're on the same team here. We're trying to figure out a solution, instead of like, you're right or I'm right, you're wrong, and then no one wants to answer each other's question. It's like, come on, like, yeah, it feels like they're both deflecting, but I understand what Martin is trying to do. He's trying to dig deeper than just the stats, which you need to do. But I wish he would answer the question and then dig deeper. Because then old boy is just going to keep saying, you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. Now he's not answering this question. And then we have a 5-minute back and forth of nobody answering a simple question. Yeah, you're right.
Question for you. What is your method of helping Black African Americans? Go ahead, tell us.
First and foremost, when we talk about helping African Americans, I'm going to acknowledge what is systemic and
What is systemic?
Systemic.
Yeah, define it.
Systemic is when you have the housing appraisal.
Yeah.
That's systemic.
Okay.
Okay. Systemic is when you have a higher proportion, 4 to 5 times, of black children who are being expelled or arrested in school compared to white kids. That's systemic.
Okay.
Now, no. You asked how. First and foremost, we have what's community, we have what's systemic, what's community-based, which means the village, or also what is individual. When you start talking about how do you make transformations in this country, first and foremost, you have to deal with the 2 most important things: health, and you deal with the issue of education. When Republicans and conservatives were talking about getting rid of Roe v. Wade, I literally said, okay, gotcha. And I had Ben Watson, the former NFL player, come on. He did a documentary on the issue of abortion. And I said, Ben, here's the fundamental problem when I hear pro-life. I said, they're not pro-life. They're anti-abortion. I said, because the people who are so-called pro-life, I said, show me the policies when they confront the infant mortality rate among African Americans. Show me when they confront the higher number of black women who are dying in childbirth, the people who are having children. He said, you can't. They literally can't. And so that's an example. When we talk about, again, health, we're talking about prenatal care, we talk about those issues.
So I do understand what Martin is trying to do. It felt like, once again, and maybe this is just him not, I know he knows this, but maybe if he knew that this was going to kind of lead down this conversation, I'm pretty sure he would have been better prepared. But institutional racism is the same as systemic racism. And the definition, Google definition. Now, I know a lot of debate bros don't like or admit to using Google, but hey, it's 2023. If you got to use Google in the palm of your hand, you have pretty much unlimited information in your hand. Please use it. Don't be ashamed. I have to use Google right now because I can't give you a accurate, word to word definition of institutional racism. So look it up. I'm not ashamed of that. But it says discrimination or unequal treatment of the basis of membership in a particular ethnic group arising from systems, structures, or expectations that have become established within an institution or organization. That is systemic racism. It's been baked into our organizations. It's been baked into our institutions, and institutions build off of that. They build off of each other. So, it's I don't understand. I don't know a better way to explain it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't really grasp that, maybe, it's just going over your head, and maybe you just need to read a few more books. I don't know. But I wish Roland would have just picked up his phone just real quick, but like, hey, give me 30 seconds. Bam, 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 spell that out real quick, and then give him a definition, and then proceed to give examples. But he just jumped right into the examples, which is good. But once again, old boy is not, he doesn't care about examples, obviously.
That means that if you're a black child and you have a higher incident of black women who are dying in childbirth, and see, it ain't just a money thing. Serena Williams talked about, with all her money, how she almost died in childbirth because white doctors were not listening to her. Do you know the opioid crisis, why it initially was killing more white people? You know why?
Tell us.
Because doctors in America, the studies showed it. Doctors were saying, we're not going to prescribe the opioids to African Americans because we think they're coming to us for drugs. So y'all got to take Tylenol. So they were overprescribing OxyContin and all these powerful meds. Well, and I said, well, my goodness, thank God the one time racism benefited black people, and we were not overprescribed OxyContin and other pills. The white death rate has the average length of whites living in America has dropped largely because of the opioid crisis. So that's systemic. That is systemic in your system.
How do we fix the sex? So systemic.
Well, first of all, the way you fix anything systemic, you even acknowledge that it's systemic. That's first.
Yes.
Two, then you have to have your data, and then be able to go in and say, okay, let's confront the reality of what we're facing. You cannot have in schools where you have largely white teachers who don't know how to handle black kids, whose automatic call is call the cops. Where you now have kids who are in kindergarten and first grade who now are being handcuffed and now taken down to jail. What you have to deal with is, in a school system, how do you deal with those children, but also where they're coming from? Was one of the issues. I talked to numerous superintendents.
So I understand his point there, but I wish you would have just said, fix education in these areas. Like, yeah, I understand the dynamics of, white teachers and black students, and, if it's not handled correctly, of course, things can go out of control. But I mean, once again, I think those kind of super defined, detailed facts just will go over people like that. Not even really go over, but they're not going to care about that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, good information for me and you, but I can just imagine, oh boy, is one in one ear out the other type of situation.
Attendants and teachers. One of the biggest things that kids are coming to school hungry. When Republicans, when you talk about food, you talk about food and talk about poor, when they wanted to cut SNAP benefits, I was sitting here going, now explain that to me. How we got the richest, prosperous country in the world, and we want to cut food benefits to folk who are hungry? Kids, teachers, principals, superintendents have said one of the biggest things that we're facing are kids who literally are coming to school who are hungry. That's why they can't study. Probably got discipline.
And one point of information, I'm not sure if it was Reagan, but it was during the time the Black Panther Party of Self-Defense was, at their prime. And one of the biggest threats the government said, I don't know if it was Reagan or not, he said one of the biggest threats that the Black Panther Party of Self-Defense oppose is the after-school lunch programs. One of the biggest threats is feeding kids. You can literally hear him saying this. It's not some made-up thing where, maybe he said it with his own voice box, okay? And I'm still trying to grasp and understand that concept. Like, why would feeding kids in your community would be the biggest threat? I mean, hey, we can spend another hour or two contemplating on that. So Roland is definitely on to something with that.
Problems. So now, okay, how do we deal with that? We have to acknowledge that even exists. What we can't do is, from a macro political level, is go, these folks, y'all just don't want to work. It's called the working poor for a reason. They are working. I'm not going to just throw people under the bus and go, oh, you're just ignorant. You don't want to work. I'm acknowledging the fact of the matter is, when the Republican governor of Alabama, about 10 years ago, he wanted to change the tax code, and he used Jesus as the model. He said, folks, in Alabama, they were taxing the poor. They were taxing people beginning at $4,600. I think it was $4,600. It was $9,600. He said, these are poor people. He used evangelicals, white conservative evangelicals. He's campaigning. Jesus talked about how we help the poor, blah, 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 blah. He went through this whole deal. When it came time to vote, what do you think happened? Lost 65.
I think the point of inviting Roland was name recognition, obviously, and just to I guess, kind of bonify his talking points, because anyone can kind of bullish their way through a conversation, and I think this is what he's trying to do, is just show his audience that he can debate, argue with one of the best, and kind of prove that he has something like smart to say. I don't know, like I would love to invite people like this just to learn something. You don't have to agree with everything, but just learn something. But that would be my kind of perspective on that.
So the same folk who love Jesus, the same folk who holler, "Oh, I'm pro-life and I love me some Jesus and I'm an evangelical." No, when it came to that, no, they voted with their pocketbook, because they were saying, those broke poor people. A Republican governor, a conservative evangelical, they said, no, it's our pocketbook. The problem we have in this country is we are frauds when we talk about we care about the poor.
Damn.
We are fraudulent.
Okay, here, I almost wanted to shed a tear just now. Please listen again when Roland is starting to talking about once again more detailed, more personal, even anecdotal. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but just a singular example. If it can resonate with the other person, here's what you get. I'm gonna rewind it. Here's what you get. Watch.
It's our pocketbook. The problem we have in this country is we are frauds when we talk about we care about the poor. We are fraudulent when we say that.
Both sides.
And what happens is, I said America.
Yeah.
I said America.
That is the answer. That is the answer I've been wanting them to say since 11 minutes ago. 11 minutes and 6 seconds. They've been talking about, in if you were just being honest with yourself, being honest with the other person you're talking to, we would have been able to skip all of that back and forth bickering for no reason. Both sides are garbage parties. Now, of course, we can point out one or two. I'm pretty sure from either side, and be like, okay, this one I think is operating in good faith, but majority as a whole, the ones who kind of control the party and what direction it goes, they're garbage people. They don't care about who their constituents are. They don't care about the people who they're asking for their votes. They don't care. They're both garbage parties. At the end of the day, just imagine if America can cut through all the BS, through all the arguing and pointing fingers, and just say, hey, both of these parties are not serving our fundamental basics when it comes to living in this country. Neither party is providing that. Just imagine how far we can get. But like I said, we're still arguing on America's history and was slavery really such a bad thing. We can't even get past that simple fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, it's
America,
crazy.
That includes everybody. Wow. And so what then happens is our economic power.
And it's funny how they just gloss over that. I would have stood up and did a front flip. I would have been screaming and yelling for him to understand both sides are garbage. But they just kind of breeze over it like it's nothing. It's crazy.
Screw them. And then we go, why you should pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. When the reality is,
you think some politicians don't want to get blacks out of their some of these bad communities? You don't think they want them to become independent, making money? You think some people would like to keep them where they're at?
Let me be clear. In America, yes. In America, yes. Because it's reflected in our policies. Mm-hmm. Have Reverend William Barber from the Poor People's Campaign. And this is not just...
It is simple to understand. The easiest way to stay in power, and which is kind of understandable on why they're doing it, you need to keep people in want. You know what I'm saying? It's this kind of story or whatever where if you feed a chicken and you feed them on a regular basis, you'd be able to take that chicken and pluck all its hair off. The chicken's bleeding, it's in pain, but it remembers you're feeding it. You're the one providing the food. It will still come back to you. Even though you did it dirty, you abused it, it's still going to keep coming to you because it knows you have the food. That's how it feels like our government is treating us. They don't want us to all be wealthy and be comfortable and be able to, do the things that we want to do and love to do. They want to keep us, one, in fear, because of course if they present themselves as the ones who have the solutions, who has the answers, the only ones who can save us out of our, whatever fear, just put in whatever fear you want to in there. It's going to keep them going to them. And that's what Republicans like to do. They like to fearmonger. And I mean, we have a whole list of this. I have like 6-7 videos talking about this. And with Democrats, now it seems to be like Republicans are the racist ones, which a lot of them probably are. And we're the only ones that can progressively lead us out of whatever situation that they're wanting to talk about. But they never deliver. Why? Because they want us to keep coming back to them. Because if they solve our problems, why do we need them? Which, I mean, I think that's kind of backwards thinking, because I would never kind of, ditch somebody but it feels to me that that's kind of how they keep themselves in power, is by always promising and giving us little crumbs here and there, just enough so we don't die, but just enough to kind of keep us wanting for more, in need for more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's a little too crazy, a little too deep for some of you, but that's just kind of how I kind of see politics.
It's reflected in,
and it's not just race,
Roland.
It's not just race,
Roland. Look,
because there's more broke white folks in America than black.
When you run a business and you have 40,000 agents nationwide, and they're Hispanic, 54% Hispanic, 24% African American. This is our business. I have offices in Memphis. I have offices in Mississippi.
Okay.
I have offices in Chicago. I have offices in South Side. I can go offices in. I was just in Calverton. Where's Calverton? Where is Calverton? Calverton's in Baltimore or D.C. I have offices in. I have offices in Tallahassee. I have offices everywhere. And I go visit these places. Okay. Because it's what I need to do to go check on these folks. You have to realize 60% of our company, they're Democrats.
Okay.
Point I'm trying to make to you
that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
But it does to me, because
Of course it does.
Well, yeah, you're saying it in a sarcastic way. I'll tell you in my way, because I want to find out what we can do to improve. And if the data improves, Republican policies are doing better, which they haven't had a chance to do because they haven't had to vote for.
That's a lie.
I don't understand what he's trying to say. Is he saying as a company, he's going to look at the data and then that will inform him on how he can help his employees? Like, am I missing what point he was trying to get? Because he named all his offices, locations, and
that's
they
a
have
lie.
92% has been voting Democrat for 59
See,
years.
Right here. You act as if Republicans haven't won.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying to you here.
If you're a Republican and you win, are African Americans still your constituent? No.
Trump made a lot of progress in your community. For 15.
Hold on, stop. Where? Where?
Income? You want me to pull up the stats for you?
Pull it up. Yeah. We had a net loss of jobs.
Net loss of jobs. You counted COVID. Don't do that when you count COVID.
Hold on, stop.
Don't bring up COVID and say net loss of jobs.
Wait a minute. So you don't bring up COVID.
Oh my God! You're gonna say. By the way, that's what you just did. What you just did.
Do we not bring up
what you just did?
That's a
validate
for three.
What you just did validates why. That article about the appraisals being this, that's exactly what you just did.
No, it's not.
Doesn't tell the whole story.
Here's the deal here. Here's the deal. I love this here. This is what I love about when people, again, go, let's take out what happened. I know he was president, not just him. Same thing, Obama. If we take out 2009, 2010, okay, oh my God, this is what it looks like. I can't ignore 09 and 010 and 10. We can't go, well, my goodness, I know we had a war when FDR was president. Look, when you the president, you get the good and you get the bad. The assessment is overall.
So pre global pandemic.
But hold up, one second.
He wasn't helping.
And just to verify real quick, I wish they would just nip this in the bud and stop going back and forth. Obama did decently. He didn't do anything like, worth really sticking out my chest and be like, that's the greatest president ever. He was mediocre, the same as any other really Democratic president, but he had the economy collapse, banks collapse. He failed on that. It seemed, and I was a young man when that happened, but from what I got was he gave more attention and more incentives to Wall Street. I understand Wall Street is important, but if he would have gave that much more effort to regular folks, I think that would have been a whole different situation. I think it would have been a whole different outlook on his presidency. But he, once again, catered to Wall Street, the rich. Trump, I don't really agree with really anything he did, but if I was to say, Trump was doing good and some of his policies was helping X, Y, and Z, he failed on the pandemic. He failed. There's no questions about it. He made it worse than what it needed to be. He didn't use his leadership to kind of get everyone on the same page, or at least as many as possible. He failed it. So, boom, there you go. Like, once again, they're going to spend like another 2-3 minutes going back and forth over nothing, essentially.
African Americans, he didn't. He was unemployment, everything wasn't going up during Trump in the first 3 years. So once the pandemic hit, that was bad news.
Are we now saying that the president is responsible and gets credit for unemployment and being low? Are we saying that?
I'm saying every policy that he was doing to help African Americans. No, what you said.
No, you said every policy.
Once the pandemic
I said name
hit.
the policy.
Once the pandemic hit.
I said name the policy. You said unemployment rate. That's not a policy. Because the reality right now is unemployment rate right now at the lowest in 54 years, including Trump. The black unemployment rate, lowest in 54 years, including Trump. I'm asking, you said Trump helping policies. I'm asking you what policies.
I didn't say policies. I said helping African Americans.
No, you said policies. Can you name them? Can you name them?
They're not going to.
I'm waiting.
What I said to you is the following.
Can you name the policy?
What I said to you is the following. I said 59 years.
Got it.
You've had this vote. How come you haven't made bigger progress
so
in
the same
years?
59 years.
I wish Roland would just answer, be like, because Democrats suck. They're not doing their job. Either they're incompetent or they just don't want to for whatever insidious reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let it be known. We all know it. It's not a big secret. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure people still love them. But just be honest. Be like, a lot of them suck. And we need to get them out of office. Make sure they never can run for any political position ever again. I think that would just delete all this nonsense that's going on.
You're going to say Republicans about the House, Senate, and the presidency.
Wait. Let me ask you a question. If a Republican wins, are black folks still constituents?
Of course.
Okay.
Sure.
So when Republicans have won, show me, again, Republicans, whether we're talking about state, city, county, state, governor or legislature, and Congress, show me how lives of black people have improved. I've asked you, there are 10 or more southern states.
When you turn on every single news and every single personality
he's not
that
gonna
says
answer the
Republican
question.
Doesn't want the good for you, it's the Democrats that are here to help you.
Here's the deal.
Yeah, you've had 59 years.
And Republicans in the same 59 years have been elected, and what did they do?
92% of the vote you've had for 59 59 years.
And in the same 59 years, they won.
Yeah.
But you simply are ignoring that.
But how much has improved? 27 out of 30 cities.
And I'm asking you, in those same cities, in those same states, who are still constituents?
Yeah.
Here's the thing that, again, and this is what was you, for some reason, I don't know, like it was a block in your brain. If you are Republican, and I've said this to African Americans, you vote for somebody and your person don't win, you are still a constituent.
That's true.
And the reality is, you are. You're still a constituent.
It's so funny because
Ted Cruz gave an interview.
I don't understand why high value guy. I guess that's where value guy. Okay, Patrick. Patrick does not want to give up his ground when having this conversation. All he has to do is say, Republicans suck. If a Republican has been in charge of this district or this state or whatever the situation is, and when he first got into office and when he leaves, nothing has increased in black communities or nothing has improved, he failed. That's really, even a business person could understand that. You don't have to really be a Republican or Democrat to understand that. If you get into a seat and you're expected to do some sort of change, build something up, get something better than what from when you entered that position, and none of that has happened, you failed. Simple. But of course, Mr. Patrick is not going to give that up because that's going to defeat his whole platform. He's not going to have any subscribers at that point.
Yesterday, when he was jammed up by Margaret Brennan about Ted, how are you supporting a 2-term limit in the United States Senate running for your 3rd term? Mm-hmm. He goes, well, because the 30 million Texans want me there. No, there's a lot of Texans who didn't want you there, but we're still constituents. So the question still comes is, Senator Ted Cruz, what are you doing for African Americans? I can't act as if you're acting as if Republicans have no responsibility, don't have to do any policies. That even when they win,
those are your words.
Even when they win, it's all on Democrats. And what I'm telling you is, what we're dealing with in this country, you have one party that historically, over the last 50 plus years, has just completely, like, I ain't even talking to you.
Yeah.
I ain't talking to you. That's what you've had. Over here, you've had Democrats who have had some policies, have had talk. Let me be real clear, because I've jammed them up on many things. Absolutely should be doing more when we talk about rate of return. I jammed up President Obama directly, saying, I'm not just excited because you're the first black president, you're still the 44th president. And what I'm telling you is, because you won't answer that question, even in the places where Republicans have complete control, what are their policies?
What do you want from them, though? You want them to do what? You want CRT is what you want?
Here's what
would you like from them? What would you like from them?
I love how you just throw that up. Here's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't support violence in any way, shape, or form unless it's self-defense, of course. But every time I hear somebody, throw this CRT, just for the hell of it, just to get a reaction, they get a very upset, aggressive reaction from me. Why you want CRT? What does that have to do with policy and activating a flourishing in communities? What does CRT have to do with that? He just threw that in. He just said it just to feed his base, just to get a reaction. That's the only reason why I said it. Once again, I extremely dislike having those kind of conversations with people because they're disingenuous. They're going to say anything just to try to win an argument, even though it makes completely no sense. Oh, you want CRT? Bro, get out of here with that.
I want them to treat black folks and Latinos or folks or anybody who did not vote for them as constituents.
They are.
What I don't, no, they're not.
You think Democrats are treating Republicans as constituents? Wait.
No, excuse me.
You think Democrats are treating Republicans as constituents?
Nice deflection.
What la-la land do you live in?
No, you're in the la-la land.
Yeah.
When Governor Tate Reeves of Mississippi said, and proudly said, when I was the treasurer of Mississippi, I purposely didn't send funds to Jackson, Mississippi. But now he wants to complain about the water crisis. Well, dude, what? You were the treasurer. You neglected resources. What city supplies more of the state's revenue in Mississippi? Jackson. What supplies more of the sales tax revenue? Jackson. But you wanted to deny the resources to the very same city. That's Republican. And what I'm telling you is, and I don't know why you just somehow like rose-colored. The issue I'm saying is this here. If Republicans want to be like Missouri, show me, fine, show me. But I'm telling you, I don't know how many black Republicans you've sat with, but I've sat with a hell of a whole lot. And their great frustration is their own party won't even listen to them. Have you ever talked to Michael Steele?
Roland.
I'm just asking. You ever talked to Michael Steele?
I have not. I would not have a problem having him on.
Okay. Here was a brother who actually ran the Republican National Committee.
Yeah.
And he will openly tell you of the absolute frustration he had with Republican leaders on the very same thing that we're talking about.
So obviously, what Roland is slowly, and I wish he would have just been like, hey, can we agree that both parties are not doing their job to the fullest extent possible? Because America can do some things. It's not like, we're like one of the poorest countries in the world. When Biden or Trump, I think it was Trump or Biden, when they gave the child tax money to everybody, and statistically, child hunger had decreased by virtually nothing, I believe. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but it dramatically decreased. I think that was a glimpse of America can do something. There's no, oh man, we don't have enough money, we don't have it like this, and oh, we gotta do all this voting, and we need to vote. Like, no, make it happen. We don't need to child hunger. Those two words should not be conjoined. Fix it. They did, and then they took it away. That's proof right there. I wish they could have just agreed that Republicans and Democrats are not doing their job to the fullest extent, which is to serve us. That's the only reason why they're in these positions. It's not some royalty family heir where, the next of kin, becomes the president. Like, no. You make promises to us, and you're supposed to fulfill those promises for everybody. I understand Democrats, Republicans, and, opposing views or whatever. But if you're a Democrat, Republican, if you're a Democrat president, you are a president to everybody still. You still supposed to care and meet the needs of Republicans also. Vice versa. If you're a Republican president, even though you won with the support of your base, guess what? You're still president of the entire United States. It just kills me how people are just like so dumbfounded when it comes to dying for your party. Is willing to say anything just to make your party seem like they're doing something. And with all the statistics they have in their mind, they can't show me where their entire state is flourishing. And it's just like, homelessness has been cut in half, child poverty is cut in half, death rates, crime rates, none of that. It doesn't happen like that. Lifted 2.9 million children out of poverty. And how long did this child tax credit last? I think half a year, maybe a whole year. I don't think it was a whole year, but like, and that tax credit was my taxes. I pay taxes. That's coming from my money. Why can't you give me my money instead of once a year? And it's just, you know, a couple of dollars. It's just weird to me. It is so weird. But yet, you know, when you're talking to a diehard Republican, they will never admit to that. They're going to find any excuse to, you know, beat around the bush and be like, you know, but Trump this and but Biden. Is like, bro, you're hungry, I'm hungry. Who cares? We both want good paying, decent jobs. We want to make sure our kids and our family can eat. We want to make sure we have a roof over our family's head. We want to make sure that food, health care is affordable, gas is affordable. Who cares who's in that office? I don't care, honestly. Now, I do have my political, you know, views and perspectives and, you know, but at the end of the day, I don't care who's in that. If Trump was to become president again, and he was to do some miraculous things and just shown that he was for the people, and he would be one of my favorite presidents. I don't care. I just want somebody in there to help people. That's it. That real simple. It's not complicated. You know, I promise you.
All right, so we were just talking about this whole issue of police brutality, police violence committed against multiple Americans, but especially African Americans. Yet our next guest, Philip Clay with the Project 21, claims that black media doesn't talk about
I just seen it on my
a major issue like black on black
videos
crime.
and
So
just thought I'd click on it.
Really,
So.
I thought they'd be real interesting. So he joins us right now. So Philip, glad to have you here. So how do you ascertain we don't discuss the issue of black on black crime?
Well, good evening, Roland, and thanks for having me on, and congratulations on your nomination for the NAACP award. So for me personally, I'd like to take the conservative out of this and really just talk to you as a young black male. From where I sit in Indiana, which has a very high crime rate when it comes to black Americans, I don't see the same outrage and instances of black on blacks, young black teens killing black teens, as I do when I see 5 black officers beating and killing Tyree Nichols in tragedy, or in instances like you were just talking about earlier in Mississippi, or in the George Floyd instances. To me, the article that I wrote, and the reason I'm on your show, is because I feel that until we as a community can start to rally together and say no more, we can't progress. My article intends to say that we need to, as a community, come together and stop blaming police, just blaming police, and we need to stand together, and we need to progress, and we need to make things happen.
What is the
Okay, now, like I said, I haven't seen this interview, and a lot of people say, you know, it's not gonna go well, and it's funny. I do agree with that. I wish black people was just as outraged when a white cop, black cop, whoever cop kills an innocent or really anyone. Like, you, even if he robbed a 7-Eleven, that person doesn't deserve to be shot dead unless he's opposing some sort of like actual threat. You know what I'm saying? Like actual with a gun and bang, bang, you know, like we understand that. I do wish black people were that upset when we kill our own people. Now, of course, there's people talking about, I hate when people say, oh, no, there is actual black people out there, activists, who is trying to combat that. It's not like no one's talking about it. It's a lot of people talking about it. It's just media is not going to cover that, obviously. We already know why, because that's not going to get them views. That's not going to get them clicks. They want the controversy of white cops versus black people. That's what they want to show. They don't want to show black activists trying to build up their community and stop the black on black violence. Obviously.
So you say you're there in Indiana. What is the white on white crime rate in Indiana?
You know, rolling off the top of my head, I don't know that figure for you.
So I'm trying to understand, if you only mentioning black on black crime, how do you not mention white on white crime? Because if we're talking about crime in this country, we've seen an explosion in the last several years of crime in rural America that doesn't involve black people.
Right. Although 89.
So that's a good point. Because it feels like, I mean, if you look at his face, it seems like he's going to just embarrass himself right here. Just be honest, like, you know what? That is a good point. I said, let's go ahead and take political parties out of this conversation. I want to combat crime across the board, black, white, and everything in between. Mr. Roland, you are correct. Can you tell me the stats of that? Teach me something. Then that will show that you are at least trying to be in good faith. And sometimes just giving a little of your, debates leverage just by saying, you know what, you are right about that. Teach me something. You might lose a little, but at least to people like us who will respect that, other than coming up with some garbage excuse of, I don't know what he's about to say, but let's see what he says.
9% of black people are killing other black people. There was an article, unfortunately I can't share my screen like you can.
Right, but the reality is, if you look at actually crime in America, it typically happens where people live. So typically, if you're black, crime is being committed by someone black, and if you're white, crime is being committed by somebody white. So why is it that no one ever mentions white on white crime? Why is it the pathology always black on black crime?
Well, I think white on white crime is mentioned. I think it is.
No, it's not. It's that phrase is never even used. It's literally never even used.
So then what's it called, Roland?
Oh, it's called, first of all, they just say crime. But what you have is you have folks who say black on black crime. So again, what I'm saying is,
why a population that's disproportionately affected. It is a big thing, and
No. I'm not saying it's not a big thing, but the reality is we do focus on what is the underlying issue of crime. So what is that? What's the underlying issue of crime?
Please tell me.
Huh?
Please tell me.
You don't know?
No, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
No, first of all, if you're going to write about how we should be focusing on crime, then you might want to be talking about what is the underlying issue of crime. John Hope Bryant talks all the time that you've never seen a...
Okay, so this is one thing that I strive on doing in every single video that I produce, is I will talk about a subject, no matter really what the subject is, unless it's something that doesn't have a solution base. I will at least try to provide the best solutions that I can think of in my position. I don't know everything. I don't know all the ins and outs of every moving system throughout America. I don't know, but I will at least try my best to, dig a little deeper in some subjects. You know what I'm saying? Because anyone all day can complain about stuff. They could complain, oh, Republicans are not doing this, Democrats are not doing that. But I want to hear what your solution is. Especially if you're a Republican, I want to hear your solutions on black crime. And 9 times out of 10 is going to be more policing, which, I mean, how many times have that has not been done? It's been done a million times already. But give me solutions. And obviously, I don't think he was really prepared to give solutions. I wish you would have gave him a little bit more time, but come on, buddy. Come on.
Riot in a community where the credit score is 700 or higher. I was just in Wichita, Kansas, the MLK event, and the former police chief of Philadelphia, the police chief of Wichita who came from Philadelphia, we were discussing this, and the reality is you can track crime rates in neighborhoods based upon economic status. And so if you want to address, so when you say we don't address the issue of crime, we do, because on this show, we consistently are talking about economics, we're talking about education, we're talking about access to capital, we're talking about housing, we're talking about all of those issues. Those are the fundamental underpinnings of crime in America.
Right. So I'm not sure if you read the article or not, but at the end of it, it does say that it's a community issue. We as a community have to fix this. But I don't think, like your last panelist was saying, by just vilifying police and saying that all the police are bad. And
I'm sorry, who said that?
I believe it was Reese.
No, she didn't. Reese didn't say all the police were bad. We were very specific about what cops we're talking about. And so if we're talking about cops, because you talk about a disproportionate rate, the fact of the matter is we see it where cops do lie. In your neighboring Chicago, there was a judge who got so sick and tired of cops lying on the witness stand that he literally reported them to the Citizens Accountability, saying, I will not allow these cops to come back in here. You have district attorneys in Prince George's County and also in Chicago. They have lists of cops who they will not let testify because they are known to lie. So why can't we hold cops accountable for also committing crimes and lying and making things up in police reports? And we will talk about what happens in the neighborhoods. Why can't we hold them accountable? They got badges and guns.
No one's
okay. So the simple answer is, you know what? We do need to. And me being a Republican, I will support that. Whatever we need to do to make sure we hold these cops accountable, I will support. But of course, it is a political issue. Okay, I give you that. But when the bad faith actors, the bad opportunists take a hold of this, now it becomes a unresolvable political issue, because Republicans are going to say Blue Lives Matter, cops have it hard, and we need to defend our cops, and we're not going to and then of course on the Democrat side we already know what they're saying. So it's like if people would just be honest with themselves and stop trying to just score points for your side, half of this conversation would have been finished already. And I'm pretty sure Obo wouldn't embarrass himself as much if he was like, you know what, you're correct. What solutions, what policies do we need to implement to hold these cops accountable? You're correct. That will go a long way. And when people see that, I think that will be more encouraging to people. But of course, that doesn't happen.
Saying that we can't hold them accountable, then I want to make that clear. And the article doesn't say that we can't hold them accountable. The article clearly says that
says I myself say all cops are bad. Yeah. Now, and that's where it's really important that you try your hardest. That's why I don't like to say all black people or all Republicans or all Democrats, because there's always going to I don't know all black people. I don't know all Republicans. I don't know all cops. You know what I'm saying? I covered on my YouTube channel actually good cops doing good things. You know what I'm saying? So if you even catch me saying all one people, correct me on that, because I obviously if you say something like that and someone wants to be disingenuous, they're going to take that and paint you whatever way that they want to, just because you said all. So I don't ever want to say all cops are bad, because obviously they're not.
Good cops call out bad cops. And despite all...
I'm sorry, you said good cops call out bad cops?
Good cops call out bad cops.
That's a lie. That is literally a lie. We saw right there in Memphis where so were there any good cops who showed up? We played a video yesterday. We played a video yesterday in Chicago where these two cops were beating this guy in a jail cell. Two cops, two other folks just stood there and watched them. We've shown a video on this show from Los Angeles, from Mississippi, from South Carolina, from North Carolina, from Philadelphia, from Detroit, where cops stand back and watch these things unfold, and they will actually back up the lying cop in police reports. So please show me where there's this swell or this groundswell of good cops reporting bad cops.
So to answer that, I showed a video actually from Dr. Richie, Indisputable, where it was a video of a black cop. This white aggressive officer, he wanted to kind of approach a young black man aggressively, you know what I'm saying? And the black cop stepped in between and was holding his fellow officer back. And you can see he was giving a little attitude. You know, he was shaking his hand and getting in his face. That to me shows at least good policing. Now, whatever he does off camera, I'm not sure. But there is, once again, Roland made that same mistake. He said, you know, oh, there's none of that. Like, no, I'm sure somewhere there's good police officers and will intervene. It's just, it's not enough. It's not enough cops doing that. And if it is, media is not going to show that. And if they do, is very, very little. But I mean, once again, like, you know, wordplay.
Roland, you and I agree on that subject, that those people are not good cops. The people that stand by idly and don't do anything. In doing research for the article, and fortunately enough, last year I had the chance to work with my local police department to understand what goes into being a police officer, because I wanted to know for myself what it takes to become a police officer. One of the things that was taught, one of the core things, was that not only is use of force a last resort, but you're also taught to de-escalate your partner when your partner becomes too emotionally involved or too attached to whatever's happening.
How often have you seen that? How often, when you've seen a lot of these video footages, now I've seen de-escalation when the person's white. I've seen a whole lot of de-escalation. But typically, when I'm seeing body cam footage and it's somebody black, I'm seeing an escalation of tensions. And so please give me some examples where de-escalation is often happening.
You're talking about the videos that have been seen. What about the thousands that haven't been released because there was a successful de-escalation or there was a successful stoppage of whatever was happening?
Or the video, or the examples where the cops didn't turn the cameras on, and where in Chicago they were breaking the antennas off of the dash cam cameras as well. I mean, again, the point here is, again, we're still talking about a fundamental problem in this country. Last year, police in America, based upon the data, Samuel Singawe, we had him on the show, they killed more people in 2022 than any other point in history. We have seen a dramatic increase of police violence. We have seen insurance companies come out and say that they are going to stop insuring cities, or they're going to actually raise their rates because of the high number of police violence cases. And so I'm trying to understand, you want to talk about black on black crime as a conservative, here's what I want to know. Where are all of the fiscal conservatives complaining about the millions upon millions and billions being spent on police settlements?
That's a good question, Roland.
They're not there. I guess who I don't see? I don't see Grover Norquist. I don't see, let me tell you something. Memphis is probably going to pay $20, $30, $40 million settlement. It's likely going to be higher than the George Floyd settlement. Do you know who I have not heard a lot on this? Governor of Tennessee, the Tennessee legislature. I've not heard Republicans in that state say this is gross and it's unfair. What you do see, though, you typically will see Democrats or you see the Black Caucus. What I'm still trying to say to you, we have on this show and in other black media discussions about black on black crime. What we don't do is fall for the pathology of Fox News and other places. We talk about what creates those conditions and what must be done to change those neighborhoods. And so what I want to know is, how are you in Project 21 advancing those issues and then calling on your fellow conservatives to support those very issues?
Absolutely. I've spent the past couple of days being able to do press about this issue specifically. And the thing that's come out of it, and the thing I will stick to, is we have to be transparent, both in the community and on behalf of police departments or police departments themselves. There has to be open dialogue, and police departments have to show that whatever's being accused against them, levied against them, is not true. And the good cops do have to weed out the bad cops. And I understand that your thoughts on that, and you've made that point clear. But at the end of the day, there are still people that wake up every morning with their intention and their honor, and all they want to do is protect the people in the community in which they live and serve.
But where are those? Why is it that when we need those good cops to show up, we don't seem to see them? And in fact, why is it? Because again, I've talked to many officers, and I've talked to black officers, and I've had black officers tell me the safest they are is when they got a uniform on. They say, but damn, when I don't have my uniform on, I don't trust my own department. Those are black cops.
that's a departmental issue. And until people can actually go into those communities and start having those conversations and weeding out those bad chiefs of police, those bad officers, and working through that, it's going to continue to be the same.
Do you do know that there have been reports showing the number of white supremacists that have infiltrated police departments nationwide, right?
That's true.
Yes.
Okay. You've seen the reports, again, of message boards and various Facebook groups where you've had these racist cops making comments, things along those lines. In Chicago, there were cops who admitted, yeah, we call folks the N-word. We freely throw it around. So if you're a black person in the Chicago community, why would you trust a racist cop? Hold on, I got to pay some bills. Philip, I asked the question, if you're in a neighborhood and you have had bad encounters with cops and you know you're dealing with racist cops in those areas, how can you trust them?
I don't think you can. But I guess the question, my question back to you is, what do you do in that situation? What would you, Roland Martin, do in that situation if you can't trust the cops in your neighborhood?
I'm not dealing with them because here's the deal. I lived in Chicago 6 years. Okay, I have seen examples where the cops planted evidence, where they beat confessions out of people. Chicago had to pay upwards of $40 million in reparations to a number of black people who were beaten, who actually were electrocuted, their testicles, by Captain John Burge and those racists in the department. Chicago actually had a Holman Street location where they were holding people, depriving them of their due rights. Attorneys didn't even know where their clients were being taken. When the consent decree came down in Chicago, they admitted, oh yeah, we use the N-word. They admitted driving gang members from one territory to another and dropping them off to see if they actually lived. Okay. Damn. We saw again under Trump where Sessions tried to get rid of the consent decree in Baltimore. Cleveland's been under 2 consent decrees. But again, if we're gonna have a discussion about black on black crime, let's also at least say white on white crime, but let's deal with the issue of how do you address crime? You do not address crime with policing. You have to address crime in a holistic way, and unfortunately, Philip, Republicans and conservatives do not want to do that in this country. It's a matter of more jails, more police, more funding. Let's increase the funding, but not deal with the fundamental underpinning of crime in neighborhoods, which is poverty.
Again, I ask if you read my article, because at the end of it, again, I do say the only way that this works is if we as a community come together and try to fix this morally bankrupt system.
But why is it at the end of your article and not the beginning of your article?
Damn.
It's throughout, Roland. There's a lot to unpack in what happened. There's a lot to unpack in what happened in Mississippi. Or I'm sorry, not Mississippi, in Memphis.
Let me go to my panel. Let's see, Reese, since he name-checked you get the first question or comment.
Yes, I actually did read the article, and I have to say, I think it's appalling to use the brutal death of Tyree Nichols to advance propaganda as Black people as violent. You compared, you compared, I listened for the past 10 minutes without, whatever. So anyway, so you compared the cops to gang violence, which is more coded language, anti-Black coded language. And I do agree with you on that, though, because the police departments, like the ones that are out of control and need consent decrees, which as a member of Project 21, I'm sure you know that in their Black agenda is to do away with consent decrees, that the police officers often are like gang members. This just so happens to be Black gang members that are in the police department, and they just so happen to not get the protection of that blue line. But to your point that Black people don't care about Black on Black crime, that is completely false. I lived like Roland. I lived in Chicago, where every summer, and I'm appalled by violence, period, regardless of the race. But every summer, as soon as it got over 50 degrees on the radio all day, all you hear on every single radio station is stop the violence, leave the guns at home, don't kill anybody, don't shoot anybody. I remember very vividly when Hadia Pendleton, a young lady, a young teenager, went to the White House went to the Obama inauguration, and she was gunned down in Hyde Park, and First Lady Michelle Obama actually went to her funeral. And so this whole notion that Black people don't care about crime within our race is even more anti-Black and white supremacist. But
hey, hello from Southern Colorado. Hey, I am a Colorado native myself. I just want to pause the video just to say what's up. Colorado in the house.
My question to you is, how do you reconcile this notion that cops are inherently good and that we need to weed out the few bad, rotten apples if you are part of a project that wants to do away with consent decrees and wants to federally enshrine qualified immunity?
What I've been saying in this article, what I will continue to say, is at the end of the day, there are men and women who wake up every day who want nothing more than to serve and protect the communities in which they live in. That has been my stance. That will continue to be my stance. Black conservative, white conservative, black Democrat, white Democrat, whatever. That's my stance.
Okay, so but before I go to Erica,
Man.
I have your article up.
Just like you said, Tyler D. Taylor, you gotta not only come prepared, but it feels like when you're having these discussions with someone who obviously knows their stuff, you gotta be honest. And usually when you're honest, it's a lot to agree on. You can probably agree on 90% of whatever topic that you're talking about. If you're being honest and coming from a place of understanding, love and respect, and trying to come up with a solution, even if you're on opposing sides, I don't think a conversation like these two would blow out of proportion like this. But of course, when you're only focused on scoring points on your side, you're going to look like a fool at the end of the day. So come prepared, but be honest. That's it. And I think you'll win just about, not even win, but you will not be embarrassed in any conversation.
Go to my iPad, please. So here's the deal. Your lead in your article, you talk about working with local cops. Then you talk about you're not naive, that your hometown in Indiana is Memphis. Then in your third paragraph, first of all, you talk about de-escalation. In your third paragraph, you say, I ask myself, though, where's the outrage for all black-on-black crime? Why are leaders in the community like Al Sharpton not vocal about the children who are killed in black-on-black crime on a daily basis in places like Chicago? Well, first of all, that's a lie. I do know for a fact he's talked about it, even moved there for us time. I do know people who have marches and rallies in Chicago. I've covered them. I don't know if Project 21 has. And then you go on, you say, as these leaders continue to vilify police and cause tensions to rise, how are they causing tensions to rise when it's the cops who's actually killing people? They set these communities and the police who are sworn to protect them back another step. Really? Then you go in and complain about CNN. Then you talk about mirror gang violence. Then you go talk about we still see men and women of all races, religions, and creeds going to work to protect the communities, blah, 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 blah. Then you get this, you keep talking about at the end of your article. This is literally what you wrote in the article, because I swore that there was some other stuff down here. That's where that white space is, because I thought there was more to it. This is literally all you said. We have to raise up the officers who are doing their utmost to defend and protect and work to weed out those who would break their oath. We have to stop looking to put the blame on everyone else and start looking at giving real leaders a chance to rebuild our morally decayed community. So in the third paragraph, you mentioned black-on-black crime. In the last sentence, the last half of the last sentence, you say we have to stop looking to put the blame on everyone else and start looking at giving real leaders a chance to rebuild a morally decayed community. You literally say nothing about why there's black-on-black crime. You literally don't even, like, I'm looking for it. I'm trying to see, do I see poverty? No. Do I see education? No. Do I see lack of economic advancement? No. Your entire piece is really about, oh my goodness, we've got some really great, wonderful cops. So how can you make it about black-on-black crime when you don't even address the issue of the underpinning of black-on-black crime in your entire piece?
Again, Roland, my position is and will continue to be that I don't see protests in the street for children being killed in Chicago.
You're a lie. I'm sorry. If you don't see it, Philip, that's because you choose not to see it. They have been protests.
That's what I had to explain this to a gentleman the other day. You are just not looking for it. One, mainstream media is not going to blast it on their show, obviously, because it doesn't generate clicks. It's not getting attention. It's not going to pull in like drama and violence and sex and drugs and murder. People don't want to see that. So you actually got to actively look for it. And even if you still don't see it, he say he's a part of some group and activist group and all this. Do it yourself then. Create your own YouTube channel. Do it yourself if you don't hear or see anyone else doing it. It's that simple. That simple.
First of all, here's the question. Where are you in Indiana?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. When the last time you been to Chicago?
I typically don't go to Chicago.
Gotcha. So you don't go to Chicago. So no. Do you follow any Chicago media?
No. What incentive do I have?
No. Wait. Do you know any activists in Chicago?
Yes.
Do you know any community leaders in Chicago?
I know community leaders in Gary, Indiana.
No. I didn't say Gary, Indiana. I said Chicago. Chicago is not Gary, Indiana.
Deontay Johnson, Black Conservative Federation.
You got Deontay. Oh, that idiot? Hold up. Wait. Are you sick? That's who you claiming? Dude, don't even try that one. Here's the problem with what you said. You just said, quote, I don't see any protests in Chicago of black on black. You don't know anybody in Chicago. You haven't even been there. See, this is the problem when you say I haven't seen it. If you ain't been there and you don't know anybody and you likely don't follow them on social media, you wouldn't see it. But the reality is, it does exist. So, Philip, never ever come on television and say, well, I don't see it, if your eyes are closed because you never opened them. We have literally had the people on this show live from protests. So for you to say, well, I don't see it, you try to act like it doesn't exist. It does. So if you've never made the effort to find out that they are protesting, how can you then criticize folk for saying they're not protesting?
Okay. Whoa. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I gotta take a drink for him. Okay, that I felt like he was yelling at me. Look at that face. You do not want that. Giving you that face. Okay? If he's making that face and you're making that face, you already done lost. Okay? Like you might as well just say, hey, Roland, I apologize. I came ill prepared. I just came on here. I thought it was going to be a quick little argument. Just throw my talking points. You'll never see Candace Owens on the show. You'll never see Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum got destroyed by Dr. Ritchie. He's never going to do a show like this. You have to be on a higher level to operate against people like this. And if you are, you're not going to be against them. If you're being honest, because, you know, like you're going to get exposed easily.
I don't know what you're trying to accomplish.
Philip. Let me help you out with something. Let me just help you out with something, Philip.
I ask for help if I need.
No, because you need some help right now, Philip. Like you need some help real bad. If I said I have never ever seen Philip in a red tie, and if somebody says, Roland, have you ever met Philip? No. Have you ever seen Philip on TV? No. Have you ever seen Philip at an event? No. Well, hell, if you ain't never seen Philip, of course you ain't never seen Philip in a red tie. So how can you say people are not protesting black on black violence in Chicago, but they are, but you haven't seen it, and you've made no attempt to find out it exists. But let me ask you this question, and this is the second. I want you to answer that one too first. Why are you so worried about Chicago, and you ain't focused on crime in Indianapolis?
We are focused on crime in Indianapolis.
So why are you bringing up Chicago though? Because I'm sorry, go back to my iPad. I'm looking at your column. You simply state, I've had the opportunity to work with my local police department. You don't name it. You say I'm not naive enough to equate my hometown in Indiana to Memphis. You don't name your hometown. And so why is it that, again, third paragraph, right here, why are leaders in the community like Al Sharpton not vocal about the children who are killed in black-on-black crime on a daily basis in places like Chicago? Why didn't you mention your city?
I mentioned Indianapolis in all the radio interviews I've done.
No. Why didn't you mention your crime in your city in your column? All right, let me do this better. Philip, what are you doing?
Hey, first off, old boy done checked out. He's kind of like, you know what, this his little like he checked out mentally. I think he's not even. It looks like a dad yelling at his son. His son is like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. I almost feel bad now. Like, okay, Roland. Okay, we know you won the debate. It's not even. I don't even know why this video is this long. Another 20 minutes. 20 minutes of what? What's going to happen in 20 minutes? Roland's just going to continue to steamroll the conversation. I just wish maybe it'll happen. I want Mr. Roland to just show a little love, show a little grace, and be like, hey, let me teach you. Come here. I understand. You were lost, but guess what? I found you. You know what I'm saying? But don't embarrass it. Come on, like the light skin is turning red in the cheeks. You know, like you are embarrassing him right now. And it's like, okay, I get it. Do it when you can, but I mean now I'm starting to feel a little bad. You know what I'm saying? When you seeing someone getting whooped on like a bully, getting beat up by, you know, the smaller person, and the smaller person continues to beat on the bully, is like, okay, you proved your point. Okay, give up. Okay, stop it. But hopefully Roland's not going to continue to embarrass this man.
To solve the crime issue in Indianapolis. I want to hear specifics.
Working with local police departments to bridge the gap between the police and the community.
How? No. What are you doing in the community? I get the cop part. Has the community ever seen you?
Yes.
Hold on, I'm sorry. What communities?
Indianapolis, Plainfield.
No. What communities in Indianapolis?
I literally just said that. Indianapolis, Marion County as a whole, Plainfield, Avon, Brownsburg, Danville, Johnson County.
And what are you doing? What are you doing in those communities?
Working to improve police
like
relations.
What? No. But what are you doing? Like when you say working, have you had community-based town halls? Not the cops, the community.
Yeah.
When? When?
2020.
No, when?
Do you want exact dates, Roland? I don't have my iPad.
No. I want to know when. Because, see, I know people in Indianapolis. I've spoken to them many times. I'm going to call them, and I'm going to find out. I'm going to say, hey, have y'all ever seen Philip? I'm going to call them. Have you ever seen Philip? Has Philip ever come around? Because, see, you keep saying you put in the work. So, okay, how about this here? In the last year, how many community...
Hey, mute their mics, okay? You can't be giggling in the background, okay? Like, I get it. It's funny when you can't dunk on the other side. Okay, I get it, but come on. Can we not giggle? You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I don't know.
Community-based town halls, have you actually held or attended community-based town halls in Indianapolis? Not cops, the community. How many?
I've not been at any in the last year.
Whoa, stop. Whoa, hold up. See, now, hold up. I'm up against a break. I'm going to hold you over for one more. Because, see, I'm trying to figure out, all this work you say you doing, I need to know what that work is. Because if you say you want to...
Oh, boy's like, no. In this, bro, like, he doesn't want to say, you know what, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Just shut the laptop, okay? I wouldn't think any less of you. You know what I'm saying? Just shut the laptop. Once he goes to break, shut it. Roland's not gonna find you, okay? He's not. Shut the laptop. He said, hell no.
Fix Chicago, and you ain't had not now in a year in Indianapolis? Not one? Okay, hold on. We'll be right back on Roland Martin. See, Philip, you want to have the conversation on black-owned media. Oh, you having it. We'll be right back. No, we'll be right back, Philip. I'm going to give you some time, Philip. We'll be right back.
No, because it's not even a conversation.
I'm going to give you some time, Philip.
At this point, it's not even a conversation.
Most people, see, I told y'all. See? Don't mess with a grown-ass man.
Ooh.
Philip
Ooh.
didn't do his homework. See, Philip went on other people's shows who didn't question him. They didn't actually break down his article. I'm about to go to Erica and Michael. But see, oh, by the way, y'all, you know Philip hung up.
Oh, so he did. He did. Okay.
You know Philip hung up. He hung up. And they've been calling him back, texting him. And I said, let him know he can talk for the first 2 minutes. But Philip hung up because he couldn't take that heat. Because see, y'all, see what happens is, see, Philip, the basis of his, see, y'all got to understand. The basis of Philip's article, oh, y'all don't discuss black on black crime. Okay, you want to have that conversation, Philip? Let's have that conversation. And y'all heard he kept saying, no, but I said at the end of my article, we as a community, we got to come together and solve the problem. Oh, but then when I asked Philip, when has the community seen you? Philip,
oh, no.
Well, I work with the cops.
Oh, no.
Not the community.
Oh,
no.
Philip,
Philip, when did you last work with the community? Any town halls in the last year? No. What the hell you been doing? See, Erica, they don't like getting questioned on specifics. See, he was like, oh, you ain't let me talk. No, I let you talk because you can't answer my questions. That's the real deal.
See, and that's what a lot of these talking points like Candace Owens can't do. They can give you stats, they can give you statistics, they can give you their opinions, they can give you, these one-off situations and how bad black people are. But when you try to go deep and you try to get a little deeper and you even get a little deeper, like Roland wants to know the specifics of what you're doing in these communities. Like, the bare bones specifics. These people can't do that. They don't have that ability. They don't have the shovel in the boots to do so because they only get paid for surface level information because that's all their audience wants is that surface level, and that's it. That's all that pleases them. But folks like me, like Mr. Roland said, grown folks, hey, we digging deep and we tapping in. That's what we do, and that's the only way that we're going to get solutions to our to issues. That's it. Simple.
To the questions, because he thought he was gonna come on here and talk about how black media don't do this and y'all don't discuss black on black crime until I start questioning his ass on what he ain't doing.
Period. And sent poor little Tink home. But I'm glad that line of questioning came out because if you look at his Twitter page, you can see how Philip Clay gets his bag. More importantly, I am very tired of people raising their platforms off of the backs and off of the pain of Black grief. And one of the things that I was going to ask him was, did he know what grief does to the first, did he know Tyree Nichols, his mother and father's name, and specifically his mother, who talked about how much Tyree loved her, how he had her name tattooed on his arm, and that's something that you don't mostly get from kids, especially young men, but he did that, and he was the youngest in his family and very well loved, a young father, and that on January 28th, he felt it fitting to pen 4 to 5 paragraphs of complete bullshit on the back and on the grief of Mrs. Rovon Wells. Completely disgusting. For someone that is either self-identified or has been told that he is a rising star in what is effectively known as the terror group, the Grand Old Party, the Republicans, do that in its own space, not off of Black pain. And I'm also glad, Roland, that you brought forward that PBS piece because I had that in my favorites, and I pulled it up in that 2006 bulletin that the FBI published, heavily redacted, but spoke very, very clearly to not white supremacy, what it actually is, white nationalism, and that how folks that are a part of this movement literally terrorize Black and Latino communities. So I feel like whatever it is that Philip is looking to achieve, keep Black people name the hell out of your mouth. Because I would love to hear his talking points when his face is pushed up against the ground and he's being tased.
See, Michael, I know some real Black conservatives. I actually know some Black conservatives who are in communities that do the work. But see, Philip thought he could just sit his ass and bang out some comments, and the National Review put it up, and these white conservatives go, "Oh, we've got one of us. Look at that. He's challenging Sharpton." Because see, what people don't understand, y'all, game recognized game. So they love throwing Sharpton's name. They love throwing out Chicago. So you see how I busted him on that. How you from Indianapolis, and you gonna mention black on black crime in Chicago, but what you don't mention is that most of the guns that where you have the crime committed in Chicago come from across the border in Indiana. I bet Phil don't want to discuss gun control though. See, this is the game they play. And see, this is the grift. That's why that fool mentioned that ignorant ass fool Deontay. That's why his little trifling ass won't come on the show with me. Because see, I schooled him like I did Philip because they are not credible people. How can you talk about, well, we the community, we got to have new leaders, and he could not name a single community-based town hall that he was engaged in for the last year. Come on.
Yeah, Roland, you know, I read the article from J. Philip Clay. First of all, when I saw he was from Project 21, I said, this is going to be some BS right now, because I was on with Reese when Craig DeLuce was on, and we tore his ass up, okay, from Project 21 also. So I read the article, and just like you, Roland, I saw the white space at the bottom, so I thought it was a whole,
right.
3, 4, 5
Hell, wait a minute, hold on. I hit refresh because I thought only half of the article loaded. So I hit refresh, and I was like, hell, that's just white space. It ain't nothing down here.
Exactly. I kept looking, and I said, wait a second, is this it? Because I printed up the article. It's right here, and I made notes because I had questions for him. So let me say this. I do think that he wants to save, you know, African-American lives, Black lives from violence, things like this. But he's grossly misguided. And one of the problems is when you have Black conservatives, especially young Black conservatives like him, one, they don't understand history, okay, number one. Two, one of the questions I was going to ask him is that did he know that from 1980 to 2008 that the majority of gang homicides in America were committed by white offenders? 53.3% were committed by white offenders. And from 1980 to 2008, the majority of gang homicide victims were white people, 56.5%. And what happens is the way the media presents these narratives and presents stories, they hide the quote unquote white on white crime that they don't want to talk about. Okay. And they keep, and it was great. It was basically white controlled media that created black on black crime. Because if they talk about white crime, they don't use the term white on white crime. But I encourage everybody to read this article from AtlantaBlackStar.com. It's called 9 Facts That Show White on White Crime Far Exceeds Black on Black Crime and How Media Outlets Conceal It. And then there's one of my favorite articles is from thinkprogress.org called from March 25th, 2015, called How News Outlets Convince You That Most Criminals Are Black. How news outlets convince you that most criminals are black.
Hey, even all you got to do is just read history. Read some books about it. They've been demonizing black people ever since they, quote unquote, freed black people, even during slavery. I mean, come on, that's obvious. But it's been so many of the old school articles. I wish I would have Googled some But, you know, the old school articles, you know, with their, you know, fonts and everything, they depict black men, especially black men, as monsters. You know, they're this like, they almost look like apes, honestly. And they try to instill that fear into people, into white people. You know what I'm saying? This has been going on since day one, not just recently. So even if you, like he said, the first thing is learn your history. In that, you could understand just about anything else. If you can agree and understand how they depicted black people in media, in newspaper, what is stopping them from doing that today? Come on, baby. Like this is
right. Now, this was a
elementary.
nationwide study of local news affiliates, NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox News affiliates. And they looked at the news coverage that they did of stories that dealt with crime. And they found that African Americans made up disproportionately stories where they were the perpetrators, but it was disproportionate to their arrest rate. So we made up like about 51% of the arrests, but 75% of those stories dealing with crime.
Got it.
So this is the game that conservatives play. This is not Fox News. You need to know what you talk about when you come on this show.
See, the thing here, Reese,
This ain't Fox News, baby.
I don't see people protesting black on black crime in Chicago. Do you know anybody in Chicago? Nope. Do you follow anybody in Chicago? Nope. Have you been to Chicago? Nope.
Well, how do you?
Well, of course your blind ass ain't seen nothing. But see, again, that's why you don't make stupid comments like that. And again, I'm still trying to understand, Reese, how can Philip be from Indianapolis, but he want to throw Chicago in? You know why? Because Chicago is the new N-word for Republicans. Chicago is the new N-word. Anytime something happens, wait a minute, what about Chicago? Well, what about Chicago? Well, what about Chicago? Philip, what about Indianapolis?
Hello. And his profile says Plainfield, Indiana. I don't even know what that is, but it certainly isn't as catchy and flashy as Chicago. I'm trying to figure out, why is Chicago in it? You ain't been there. You ain't stepped foot in there. You don't know nothing about the Magnificent Mile, Garrett's Popcorn. There's a number of things that I would talk about in Chicago before I get to quote unquote black on black crime. And like I said, obviously black people in Chicago don't want black motherfuckers shooting their ass either. They don't want the cops and they don't want their neighbors shooting them. I think that everybody black can agree that crime in general is bad.
Hold on. Okay. I just gotta hear that again. She okay. I don't know who she is. But she went hood. You know what I'm saying? She didn't care. She was on TV, live TV. She just said that was
popcorn. There's a number of things that I would talk about in Chicago before I get to quote unquote black on black crime. And like I said, obviously black people in Chicago don't want black motherfuckers shooting their ass either. They don't want the cops and they don't want their neighbors shooting them. I think that everybody black can agree that crime in general is bad, point blank and a period. But to your point, Roland.
She said point blank and a period, okay? But I mean, you would assume that when people say, you know, black people don't talk about, what do you mean they don't talk? You don't think they had this discussion with themselves? They don't want to get shot by nobody. They want to live. Black people want to live just as much as white people and Mexicans and Asians. Everybody wants to live. So why would you assume they don't? Even if you haven't seen any protest that goes against black on black crime, why would you assume they don't care? That's the weird part. That's the weird part.
It's about the boogeyman. It's about this. It's like CRT is a word, as a euphemism. Woke is a euphemism for the white supremacist, white nationalist party to just say the N-word without saying the N-word. So he was very deliberate in talking about a place that he doesn't know. He did not know statistics, so you don't have data. You don't have even anecdotal evidence because you haven't been there. You don't know nobody from there, but you're talking about it like you have some kind of authority. Go to hell, bitch. How about that?
So this is from a Indianapolis TV station just 2 days ago. Go to my iPad. Violent crime plagued some indie bars.
Hey, first off, I would love for her to debate Candace Owens. You thought Cornel West destroyed Candace Owens. Oh, Candace would do the same as oh boy, close the laptop. That's all she would do is just walk away slowly and then create some video talking about how she is being disrespected or something. But
so
crazy.
This is from an Indianapolis TV station just 2 days ago. Go to my iPad. Violent crime plagued some indie bars, yet the state does little to enforce its policies. If I scroll the article, I don't see Phillip's name anywhere. Anywhere. Okay, hold up. Let's see here. Okay. Same station. Crime mapping. What parts of Indianapolis saw the most homicides in 2022? While Indianapolis saw a decrease in homicides in 2022, so did Chicago, police continue to push for fewer homicides and violent crimes. In 2022, 226 people lost their lives in a homicide in Indianapolis, down about 15%. This is a decrease of 45 homicides. And so as you see it here, a gunshot is listed as a cause of death for 86.7% of the homicides. Phillip, are you speaking out against guns? Phillip, I got something for you to do in Indianapolis. Nearly 66% of the homicides in Indianapolis remain unsolved as of early January. Of the 226 homicides, police made an arrest in 66.
Roland, can I point out to you?
Ain't that, and hold up, of the homicide of 2022, largest group, 25-34, black men 18 to 24 made up the largest group. So here's the question, Phillip. You keep meeting with the cops. Why aren't you focused on your own city of Indianapolis? You're not, Phillip, because you know why? You don't give a damn about those communities. What you want to do is you want to make a point by taking a shot at Sharpton and at black leaders and black-on-black violence in Chicago. Reese, I'm on overtime, but I got 20 seconds to go.
He lives in Plainfield, Indiana, which is a population of 34,000 and 87% white. So you really pushing this anti-black.
So he don't even live in Indianapolis.
He ain't even from Indianapolis.
He lives in a suburb of Indianapolis.
Go to his Twitter page. I'm not going to say it, but go to his Twitter page. I did.
Michael, that's how he's
go
to
his Twitter page. What's his name again?
We'll see how he get in the bag.
Plainfield, Indiana.
J Phillip Clay?
I didn't make that up. That's
J.
what he
Phillip
has
Clay.
publicly
J. Phillip Clay. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up.
Show his Twitter page on your screen.
Here we go. Y'all pull it up right here. It says J. Phillip Clay.
No.
Everything you need.
Husband,
Roll up
father,
to the picture,
Christian
Roland.
conservative. It says Plainfield, Indiana. Phillip.
Roll up to the picture.
Phillip. No, his tweets are protected. Phillip, you don't even live in Indianapolis. Boy, bye. Phillip, again. Phillip, I just want to warn you of something. Phillip. My daddy told me something when I was younger, Phillip. He said, son, never mess with a grown-ass man.
You can't slick a can of oil.
He said, son, when you mess with a grown-ass man, and you're going to get a grown-ass whooping. Phillip, you just got a grown-ass whooping.
Ew.
The next time you even attempt to challenge black-owned media, I want you to remember this ass whooping just like the one I got when my dad lit me up when I was in school. Phillip, call Deontay. Y'all can cry together by messing with me. I'll be back. All right, folks, back.
Oh my God. Oh no. Oh no. No. Okay, that was bad. That was extremely bad. Man, yeah. They did an entire background check on him. That is... Oh man, it's so much to unpack there. It's it makes me feel hopeful that there is black people, and like I said, I only started watching Roland like maybe like a year ago, and that's here and there videos, but I mean it feels good, even though I felt bad throughout half of it. You know what I'm saying? And I know that they wanted him to scroll up to see his picture. And I mean, I would never attack somebody on who they're married to, because I don't believe who you're married to has a bearing on your political beliefs, your moral honesty. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it plays a major part, but for some people, they do that out of self-hate. I do understand that they do that because they have some deep insecurities about themselves. I get that. But I mean, that was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Guys, thank you for watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, my eyes are kind of red. I worked a 11-hour shift today. I probably slept for like 45 minutes, ate dinner, took a shower, and just started setting up. And I like I said at the beginning of the stream, I want to start incorporating live streams at least once, maybe twice a week, if you guys like content like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel perfectly fine with this embarrassing. Hey, Mr. Detailer, I definitely appreciate you stopping by the live streams, especially having conversations in the Discord. I definitely appreciate that. Just let me know. You know what I'm saying? Join the Discord. Let's continue this conversation, and like the video, because liking videos help algorithms and stats and statistics, everything that everybody loves for some reason. And I mean, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I know it's like a minute delay maybe. So, I mean, if you guys have any questions, go ahead, ask now. If not, I mean, like the video, subscribe if you're not. That'd be weird if you're not. Shoot, I want all you guys to have a good night, a safe night. If you're not at home, I hope you get home safely, soundly. And let me actually what's Discord? Discord is, let me I kind of want to play some music in the background, baby. Yeah. Okay. Let me Discord is just like a chat room, and it's about like 15 of us strong right now, and where we have these discussions, and essentially I'm gonna make something happen. Let me figure out how I can invite people. Boom, copy. All right, here's the Discord right here. So if you're obviously watching this stream, there's only like 8-9 people watching. You obviously have some sort of understanding, some connection to what the bigger goal is. So let's go ahead and build, baby. Iron sharpens iron. I honestly believe that, and like I said, I got so many ideas, but nothing can come into fruition if I don't have like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? I need to network, and if if you guys have some ideas in any way that I can help, I'm all ears. Tell the people some books you're reading. Oh, that is a good. Let me pull up my audiobook actually. Right now, I am reading the 1619 Project. Of course, I'm probably a little late to this. A lot of people have been talking about the 1619 and this and this. I want to read it for myself now. And I'm probably about 6 hours in, and it's beautiful. Just like Detailer said, last week I finished out The Radical King by Dr. Cornel West and like 4 or 5 other people. Beautiful book. Finished Starry Messenger by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Finished that. Entertaining Race by Michael Eric Dyson. My next book is going to be, let me see. Do I have it on here? I don't have it on here. But I mean, I eventually want to start a book club. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm to a point to where if someone can't get a audiobook or get a digital book, I will get it for you. You know what I'm saying? But I still got to kind of work out some details, kind of plan this out as best as possible. But I want to start a book club because information is key. If you don't have a source of good, valuable, reliable information, nothing else matters. No conversation is going to do you any good if you don't have a good grasp of information, historical information. None of that matters. You know what I'm saying? So I want to start a book club. I know that sounds old lady like, but let's see. But go ahead, talk to me. Let me see. Let me make sure. And maybe on the next stream, I'll probably stream a little bit earlier. Like I said, I probably got to stream on a day that I don't work because, man, my eyes are just like, and plus with the new glasses, my eyes are still trying to adjust correctly. So it's putting a lot of strain on my eyes, man. But I mean, hey, you know, this is what I love doing. You should check out Dr. Richie's. Oh yeah. I've been watching Dr. Richie for years. He's definitely one of the people that kind of inspired me to start my own. You know what I'm saying? Because he's raw, he's straight to the point, and he talks about what he wants to talk about, which is kind of what I want to do on my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Talk about things that is close to my heart that will benefit people, but yet, you know, be unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, let the chips fall as they may. Are there any other black museums in other states? I don't think that I'm not 100% sure. I don't think there's one in Colorado. That's a good question though, because why would they do that is a question. I know there's one that they opened a few years ago, but I mean, you know, like one out of how many historical museums of any other historical time there is, you know. Let me see. All right, everything looks good. All right, perfect. But hey, once again, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys watching. Obviously, I don't care if I have one person watching, 5 people, 7 people, 10 people. Of course, you know, everybody's dream is to be watched by as many eyes as possible. But I have done this with no people watching. You know what I'm saying? I want to just have that honest to God conversation with people. And I know within me is greatness. You know what I'm saying? And I need to unlock that, because I know what I feel, what I believe in the potentials that I have is beneficial for our people. and I want to lift everybody up because I know every person has something great within them. And I mean, if I can unlock that and join arms with you guys, I'm gonna do it. Are you planning to invite people for interviews? I am. There's like 4 or 5 people at work that I think are pretty amazing people, but I think half of the time they're shy. Half the time they don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So one thing I wanted to do in the Discord also is only exclusively for people who are in the Discord, bring them on the show, either just through audio or if you have a decent camera, you know, and let's have a 2-3 minute conversation about a subject. Sociologists, if somebody's willing to come on the show, I don't know a lot of people. I know a lot of these type of people look at, you know, subscriber counts and other analytics, which, you know, I think I'm doing fairly well, you know, analytically, but I mean, you know, shoot me some names. I'll send an email. I'll try to contact, but you know, it feels like I got to kind of build up my platform for people to feel like it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely can't pay people. I definitely can't pay thousands, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 to have them on my show. I don't have that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? But I would let it have, you know, Cornel West, Michael Eric Dyson, you know, Al Sharpton, you know, like, you know, Obama. If Obama's watching this, hey, come on to the show. You know what I'm saying? But even people who don't agree with me, you know what I'm saying? If they want to have a good, honest, faith conversation, let's have it. But I'm not gonna play that. I just gonna say some things just to say it, because I'm gonna shut that down quick. I don't play that. If you see me in the comments, I'm like that in real life. You know what I'm saying? But it's simple, baby. It's simple. It's simple. But of course, once again, thank you for watching. And shoot, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Oh man. All right, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys watching. Once again, if one person's watching, I appreciate the one person watching. And I will see you guys every day. I post every day, so you're gonna see my face, you're gonna hear my voice every single day. And I will see you guys, I don't know, maybe Friday or Thursday on a live stream. I don't know, I'm still trying to plan that out. So once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.